Hi, this is Jörg, which is German for George here at Find a Job in Germany in Berlin. Hey guys, I saw the company that I was invited to for an interview has really bad ratings on Glassdoor. What should I do? People, here's my take on public ratings of employers in Germany and what you really need to do when you're doing an interview with them. There are several online platforms, which I'm sure many of you already know. They're well established over the years, and they help applicants better understand if the company that they're applying with is a good one. Now, the idea of these platforms is that employees share their experience and reviews about their employers, including information about the company's culture, salaries, interview questions, and benefits. It can be really quite a big range. Those are only a few examples. Naturally, that means that there is a sincere interest, and I totally understand this, behind knowing whether the organization that you're going to be joining eventually keeps the promises and adheres to the standards, so to speak, that they set for themselves when they market themselves externally, right? You want to know what's in the box. And the most popular ones that you may all know is Glassdoor, then there is Indeed, and another one would be Volt. But the one that many Germans and German companies are using is Kununu. So you want to check that one out in case you've never heard of it. Kununu it is. That is where you'll also find quite a few ratings on companies. Now, let me tell you about rating portals in general. No rating portal will replace your own impression that you are getting from them in the interview process. And I will come to that, what I mean by that, and what it means for you exactly in the interview process in a minute. That being said, though, an evaluation will most likely be done by someone who has had their share of experience in a certain team with certain kinds of people. Okay, so what you read is most likely from a true person. Whether or not this is something that can be applied to the entire organization, however, really depends on the organization, especially its size and the number of team members. And this can be pretty typical. While you may get the feeling that your team lead is awesome, somebody else will complain about their team lead, okay? So the lead from a different team you have or will have nothing to do with. This is what matters here, just as a perspective. So please always be aware that portals attract people that will either be taking a dump, so to speak, pardon my French here, in front of somebody's door, and that is because they still have a bone to pick with a certain person or a certain team, sometimes even maybe the entire organization. So be aware that often the reason why people are leaving bad reviews is because they haven't had the guts to speak up when they were still working for the company. Or it can also be that they did speak up, and when they did not receive any support, or their feedback was not heard. That is also very much possible in this world. So I'm not saying that negative feedback is often unjustified. I'm just pointing out that you never know what really and truly went on behind the scenes and what made them publish a review online in the first place, okay? Or, and here comes the second alternative, that can be that their employer asked them to expressly write a good review, or they created fake reviews. That also happens. Also here, I'm not saying that this is something that happens very often or regularly or every day, but I'm just saying it is possible. Likewise, I have heard of cases in which companies actually removed bad ratings from employees so that they would have kind of a clean slate again, right? I personally, and this is my advice to you people, always say that rating portals can be a source of insight, okay? Just like a lot of other sources. But just like with any source, you have to make sure that you evaluate the data that you find online in this case, and understand the context in which ratings have been made, okay? So only focusing on stars, that's a bit lame, yeah? You actually have to read the texts, and then you have to compare them. You have to see if there are any patterns. And if there is, let's say, growing evidence, and if there is repetitive patterns, then what do? Well, you don't just leave it at that, you put it to the test. And you can confront the team members you're dealing with in the interviews. But here's the thing, you have to be very diplomatic. So when I say confront, don't be putting your foot down, be like, hey, I saw that there was a really bad rating on Glassdoor. No, that's not how you do it, okay? You don't want to ask for the person who wrote this. You don't want to really do this like this at all. You have to be very subtle. You have to frame it very right. So if you want to do it, you want to make sure that you take the essence of what the reviews that you read online were about and ask the interviewer. And this can be in a first round, for example, or in a culture fit round, what they, this is an example, think of the corporate culture. So you open up the issue, okay, you widen it, and then you let them share their take, and then you will get a response from them. And then you can go ahead and make the reviews that you saw on Glassdoor an issue and carefully ask, hey, I was just wondering because I'm really interested in joining you, but there were just quite a few comments on Glassdoor which I came across, which made me wonder just about this particular issue, whether or not, this would be something that people are dealing with in the organization. I just wanted to make sure I get the real response firsthand from a real person, and then you see how they react to it, okay? And of course, your job is to read the face of the person, also read between the lines on what they're really selling to you, okay? What matters most is that you don't confront people. I'm repeating myself here with one bad review someone once wrote half a year or 12 months ago. Nobody's interested in that. Again, there has to be a significant amount of reviews all addressing or going towards the same direction or the same issue. One bad review here, one remark there isn't going to be enough, okay? It's not going to make your case. And then, and this is what I advise everybody to do, you should really repeat the same step, the same approach with other people that you meet during the hiring process. Naturally, you're going to be looking at 3 to 4 to 5 different rounds that you're going to be having, both tech and non-tech, and you may meet different people. So use the time at the end of the meetings and also ask about these issues, them in person, address them. Don't necessarily talk about Glassdoor or whatever you found online, but really have them share their insights, okay? And also then go deeper in the conversation. If you find it sincere, if you find that these people are honest and true about what they're sharing with regard to these issues, corporate culture, salary, environment, etc., then you're also going to get a much better feeling than any rating portal will ever be able to provide you with. What matters most here, hiring and recruiting is a two-way street. I'm saying it again. Yes, it will be the company that is going to be eventually making you the offer, not the other way around, but you want to make sure that you're convinced by the people that you're going to be joining, by the organization, the business, the package, of course. And that is your job to find out as well, okay? Not a one-way street. You will have to do an assessment on them just as much as they will be doing it on you. Trust me, especially since this will be your first job in Germany, you want to do your own due diligence, okay? And you want to make sure you're joining an organization and people who you think are really great, who mean you well, who respect you for who you are, and where you feel that they provide that environment that you're really looking for, where you can grow, okay? So, long story short, of course, this is what we ask each and every one of our successful coaches from our personal coaching program once they've secured a job offer through our coaching program, because it's really important to us that they also get a good feeling of who they're actually signing a contract with, right? It's going to be your first job in a foreign country, etc., etc. So that's why that matters so much. And if you're also interested in joining our program, then you'll find the link for that right underneath this video. It's called Video Training. You can watch that, watch it fully to understand how we work, and then you can book a get-to-know call with us. We're already looking forward to meeting you.